for liberty.
And it is a complex set of rules that organizations that dictates that certain requirements, and organizations must dedicate as a result quite a big amount of time and money to comply with it. And for users, that's maybe also difficult to understand. It's a very German idea, by the way. German leadership pushed for the strengthening of data protection in Europe, and part of that has to do with its history. And a few general points about what the GDPR entails is that, according to the law, businesses must be able to show that they've made efforts to comply with the law, that really show, proof. And one key principle is that they need to know what data they hold on their customers. So if you're a business, or even the data you hold on people, if you're a public organization, why you hold this data, for what purpose. Because some companies keep data for a limited amount of time or longer. They collect it for analytics, to keep it as part of a mailing list or email marketing. Another thing is that organizations need to show proof of consent from people, that they've allowed the people have allowed them to use their data, which is why you as a user have to tick those boxes that ask you if you've read the terms and conditions. Another principle is that users should be able to opt out for their data to be collected. The GDPR did raise the bar globally for data protection. It's not a fundamental change at first glance compared to its predecessor, the Data Protection Directive, and laws are still drafted by humans. But now you have machine learning, AI systems, automated decision making that are becoming a reality. And so we'll come to that probably later, because that also impacts technology. And a major change is that the GDPR introduces fines. So non-compliance has serious consequences, and infringements could cost up to 20 million euros, or 4% of a firm's global annual revenue from the financial year preceding, whichever is higher. So privacy and data protection are now taken much more seriously by companies, as you can imagine. And just to briefly mention a couple of cases that our audience might have heard of, British Airways and Marriott, the hotels chains, were each fined about 20 million euros or pounds, something like that, for insufficient measures, like technical and organizational measures to ensure information security. You also have the Google fine, which was about 50 million euros because it's failed to provide enough information to users about its content, data consent policies, etc. The GDPR created what you can call artificial scarcity of data and driven up its costs by limiting the access that companies have to that data. Next to the regulatory costs of compliance, having to hire lawyers, privacy lawyers, instead of maybe hiring engineers, and maybe instead of investing in R&D, companies are buying GDPR insurance because they're afraid of sanctions and fines, so they want to really stay in the clear. So I think this reallocation of investments from technologies to making sure you're not infringing more new laws, that could put EU businesses at a competitive advantage compared to the United States and Asian competitors.